they're partners, not life partners. They're business partners, right? They're not together. They're two straight guys. However, watch the yin yang of
Mm.
this, right? One's extroverted, right? He's on stage, he grabs the mic, he talks to everybody, opens all the doors, right? He's in your face, like extroverted, like that guy, right? That's who he is. That's who he likes to be. The other guy, the partner, right, is exact opposite. Doesn't want to get on stage, has stage fright, doesn't want to talk to anybody. He's a content creator, is in the office on the computer, right? He's the builder of that is just, you know what I mean? And they come together and one creates, one delivers. Together they have a fantastic business because they're yin yang. You know, if they're
Mm.
both trying to get the microphone, there's this, we have a problem. And who's going to create content, right? So love relationships are the same. There's a polarity. Everything in nature is polarized. It's the only way that it'll last. And what happens is when we have a culture where women are now strong, independent, powerful, and act very much more into masculine men don't want it and they walk away from it. And they often will attract feminine men who don't provide, protect, cherish, give support. But feminine men just want to be comfortable and take. So they encourage women to go girl, get that promotion when he's on the couch, spooning the dog and smoking a joint. She works double time and he's not, right? He moves in with her, he borrows money from her, he's driving her car. Like this is a shit show that women deal with nowadays because we raised them all to be masculine. And the polarity of nature will have him attract those soft, bitchy, unstable men who don't pay, who don't provide, don't protect, don't want your children, don't want to marry you. None of that. Do you know what I mean? Which is very hurtful when you've been involved with somebody. And in the end, she loses respect for him, dumps him, right? But what happens is women don't understand. They keep attracting feminine men and they think that's men. And then they go, men are shit, men don't step. No, those guys aren't men. But if you're masculine as a woman, you'd only attract feminine men. It's just nature. So what works better is still classic.
What if the argument to what you just said is, well, we're happy? What'd you say to that?
Who's heavy?
Let's say a couple in a situation that you described. For example, the woman is working double hours and the man is not, and you said that eventually
Yep.
there's gonna be some resent in the relationship.
Eventually,
Is that
eventually, yeah, eventually what happens, the woman gets tired. Women are not really wired. Okay, here goes another trigger warning. But women's chemistry is not sustainable for a lifestyle of competition like men. We have testosterone, they do not. They have very little, right? We have 15 to 20% more, 15 to 30% more testosterone in our bloodstreams than a woman. This is the jet fuel to fight, to compete, to push, to conquer the world, to whatever, right? We have the jet fuel. They don't. So theirs is using adrenaline, which eventually by the age of 30 plus, they're exhausted, they're tired, they don't want to work so hard, money doesn't make them happy. So even if that works for a while, right, they typically don't last beyond a few, like less than 10 years typically. Because
really?
she's tired, she wants him to step up, but he won't because he doesn't want to, he never has. Don't try to change me. She loses respect for him, she's exhausted, and she dumps him. I
Wow.
mean, that's the story. So these don't last. So they'll work for a minute, but they don't last. So if you, my job is to teach people how to build long-term healthy relationships. That means 30 years plus. And I have two sets of men here in Los Angeles who have been together 30 years. And guess what they do? Just like my guys in the partnership, one leads more, one supports the lead more. But the one who leads more, that's who he is. That's his personality. That's his temperament. And the other one is also that. That's his temperament. He doesn't want to lead, doesn't want the target on his back. He wants to support the lead. That's what works. So when women nowadays don't want to be in a supporting role, they want to be in a leadership role, it's a shit show. It's a shit show. I don't know why. It should work better. We equalize the playing field. It should be better. Doesn't work.
Classic works
Just saying.
best.
Classic was back with a modern twist, right? Because I often get it, accused of like, you should dumb it down for you guys, go back to the 50s. I'm like, that's not what I'm saying. That's rude. That's not what I'm saying. It's a modern way to do what works classically better. And that's what I teach. So,
Okay. Um, Man, I have so many questions. This is getting
bring it.
this is amazing. So let's say going back to I really like the energy thing. I'm sorry. I have one more question about it. So, what for example, if you have a man who's extremely stable, extremely, let's say, driven, and is looking for stability and healthy long term loving relationship,
Mhm.
will he
Yep,
keep attracting disorganized, immature woman because that's the opposite? Is that the case? I'm
pretty
asking.
much.
I'm asking for a friend.
Now, and this is when your value system comes in. You talk about this about values, right? So a man who's got his life together knows who he is, knows what he
Yeah.
wants, knows what he wants to build, and so the woman who's going to fit him to be the yin to his yang will be a woman who's more feminine, more family driven, who wants to be a mom, right? Doesn't want to be a boss, doesn't want to work so hard, is more interested in nesting that fighting. He's happy fighting. She's happy with nesting, and she understands that. She didn't fall for the culture, you know. If you're not, because now the culture tells women unless you're productive, you're not lovable or valuable. That's crap, right? So now they push them all into the masculine, and masculine men are like, cool, bruh, not interested in that. So value system works back again. So traditional man, because the men are still, we haven't changed. Our role has never changed through the feminist movement since the past 60 years. Like men are still expected to provide, protect, cherish, give, support, lead, right? Women. So we're still traditional in the way we were raised and what the world and women value in us. But the culture taught the women to refuse to be traditional or to not be traditional. You're better than being some guy's slave, and kids will ruin your life. Okay, how's that going to work? So that's the problem. That's what I see all day long. The women have been twisted into this false belief that being masculine and productive is better than being feminine and productive in another way, as in making children
And why
and
you think
supporting.
and why do you think that's the case nowadays? Why do you think so many women they feel like that's the way to go, instead of
Yeah,
they're
they're
not
raised.
proud of staying home with the kid, like that doesn't. So
They're
why is you
raised that way.
they're raised that
They're
way? Okay.
raised that way. So from the age of 5, we tell them, "What are you gonna do when you grow up?" We used to